Hello there, Qckslvrslash here with World of Warships replay today. You join myself and one of my friends, Savea, playing on Trident in Domination mode. Now, on this map, I normally like to head over to the east and the Charlie capture point, particularly if I'm driving a battleship like I am today in this Tier 6 Japanese Fuso. Fuso is an amazing ship. I absolutely love her. I really enjoyed the Congo, and I think the Fuso is just another step up. In many ways, I prefer it to the Tier 7 Nagato, which is, in a way, a good thing, because we are facing off against some Tier 7 battleships. So in this game, I'm going to try to prove myself that, you know, tier number's just a number, and the ship and the driver matter more than what tier you are. I've got Savea in his Mitsuki out ahead of me, and he's going to play screen and help me deal with any of the enemy destroyers and hopefully put in some good damage himself with those stealth torpedoes. So right away, shores sailing broadside on. I fire at him 18k away. Not entirely sure it's going to hit, but you look in and that's a paddling. He eats one citadel, 10,000 damage, and you really have to be aware of what has lines at you. And yeah, he's pushed into A and he's about to capture it, but at what cost? I fire another volley. You notice I was slowly dragging my cursor left as it slowly went through the turrets. I was hoping to put a long spread in the water, and they do land that way. Unfortunately, he had gone to reverse and I hadn't caught that. I thought he was just slowing down. So, next volley misses. But you can see he's dead anyways. 70 health there now. So I'm moving on to the next target, and I'm picking this Omaha. Hoping for a good hit. Shells are looking alright. A bunch are landing far and short. Only one penetrates and I get 2 overpens. Still good for a few thousand damage. Meanwhile, Savea is pushing into C. He's got that enemy Ognavoy right ahead of him, and they're engaging with guns. Now, the Ognavoy definitely wins in a gunfight, but Savea's got a Qckslvrslash with him, and I'm sure all of you from having seen my videos in the Qckslvrslash, that thing can absolutely eat up destroyers. So I would say Savea is safe for now. Put a couple more good shells in, have the Omaha down to 4,000 health as I get lit on fire. So we're about 3 minutes in. I've already got 20,000 damage done, but I am not happy with that. At minimum, I always try to strive to get at least my own hit points and damage onto the board. That way you're kind of a... if you die, you're not a plus or a minus to your team. You just kind of were neutral. But I really do like to affect the battle and have a positive outcome. So just getting my own hit points, like if I only got 50,000 damage this battle, I would not be a happy camper. The Omaha manages to survive a second volley from me, but he got finished off by a friendly. And my next target is this enemy Colorado, and I am turning in, and I am going to go get in a up-close brawl with this guy. And you can see his guns aren't aimed at me right now, so I can afford to sit a little more broadside on, try to get all my guns firing. But I also have to worry about this Nicholas, the 7.5 kilometers away. If I'm not mistaken, he has 5.5 kilometer torps. So right now I'm still safe from torpedoes from him, but I can't sit still. That makes me too easy a target for that Colorado, who himself just ate a couple torps, and there's a few more on his way. So right now I'm kind of holding my fire. I want to see if those torps were going to finish him off. Looks like they were going to miss, so I fire a volley, put in 6,000 damage, and another torpedo ends up hitting him, finishing him off. And as much as I want to deal with that Nicholas, all I can do is target my secondaries at him, because this Furitaka to me, is the bigger threat. And he's sailing broadside on 6k. This is a easy shot. Unfortunately, the captain of my Fuso is fairly inexperienced and doesn't have the skills to really boost my secondaries or the turret rotation, but I put a massive shell into that Furitaka, almost finishing him off, and now I've got to pay attention to this Nicholas. I eat a lot of damage in torpedoes, but I managed to survive, and now I'm mad. I want revenge, and I put 3 turrets right up his ass, but it turns out a friendly killed him for me. So we're now getting closer to that 50,000 where I'd feel at least I did something. And it looks like their New Mexico is AFK, and you'll see later in the game that yes, he was, and a lot of his team starts hating on him, blaming him for the loss, but one ship would not account for the 4 kill difference that has happened right now. But with him sitting stationary there, I am more than happy to take some free shots at him as I close this Congo. Sadly, didn't get much damage. Savea, meanwhile, fires off some torps at the Congo. And in our call right now, we were talking about, me eating all those torps, but me saying that New Mexico's dead. Like, go get up close and personal and farm 50,000 damage out of them, because that's all an AFK player is. So you have to be a little close approaching them in case they come to life all of a sudden. Or if they're a bot that's maybe, you know, only recognizes enemies within a certain detection range. But I'm pretty confident that I'm going to beat this Congo, especially since he's firing HE at me. Like, yeah, the fire is going to get annoying, but his guns are the same as mine. He could easily do a big chunk of damage to me with AP. So the first couple shells did 6,000, and then all the rest bounced off 6 deflections. And with 2 fires going and the amount of hit points I have, I can't really afford to let that fire burn, and I'm lucky that that third fire the Congo just lit was put out twin citadels, and he is dead. And that Congo honestly made it a little bit too easy for me. So at this point, I'm all but dead. There's little chance that I'm going to finish off this York before I die, and with 2 fires and no damage control party in sight and my repair party active, it's all that's keeping me alive. But man, I get another massive citadel rounding off my Confederate, and that's gonna be me. But just because I'm dead does not mean the action is over. So we're going to go join Savea as he just destroys this New Mexico. And that's a free kill right there. 47,000 damage. He eats all 6 torpedoes. And he removes, honestly, a spotting threat. And that's really the one thing that AFK ships can add. That New Mexico was spotting him for this New York that was shooting at him. And you can see that York that I left on about, I think it was 18,000 health when I died. Still taking fire from the Königsberg in New York. And Savea's using his guns to try to finish this New York off. Doesn't quite get the kill. And at this point, the game is pretty much all wrapped up. And I'm also trying to goad him into just getting close enough to use his guns on the York, pop smoke, and just sit there and shoot the York from a smoke screen to milk a little more damage. And it's especially important because right now there's a 200% event on for your win of the day, which equates to 3 times experience. So any good battle, you're walking away with, honestly, like 10,000 experience. I know I put 1 or 2 games up since the event started, and you can see the experience I'm getting. And when you're trying to grind through a ship like Savea is here, going up that Japanese destroyer line, these events really do matter. So there goes his smoke. You can see those beautiful new smoke circles showing where they are. He puts his torps in the water, and he is just gonna lace him with those dinky little guns he's got. And this is where you can really see the difference between the Americans and the Japanese, is at the lower tiers. By the time you get back to tier 10, Shimikaze and Gearing have an equal number of guns, and if you set the Shimikaze upright, it can actually do a fair amount of damage. So he got detected by, I'm guessing, hydroacoustic and killed, but he gets the return kill, and this is all but over. We've got all 3 caps, they have 1 DD left, and that was a fun game. So now we're going to go to the post-game report. And here we are at the post-game. 222,000 credits, 7,000 experience. I got myself a Confederate, just shy of 103,000 damage. Only the 1 kill, but 5 citadels, and I did a good job defending the 1 base. Look at our team scores. Savea topped our team with 1,986 experience, with me rounding up 3rd with 1,616. And you can see, like, that Congo was firing HE at me. He gave me his side. That was a poor decision, even though he was more or less stock. He's got some learning to do, and it's just something that happens at these lower tiers. You'll come up against people who have decided on 1 ship line to go up, and they get to tiers 5, 6, 7, and they don't really know the full mechanics of the game. I got some good damage in on the York, the Furitaka, the Omaha, kind of rounding out a pretty balanced game, doing damage to a number of targets. And credits and XP, walked away with 100,000 after all my consumables, and just shy of 10,000 for a commander that really needs some experience. I've only got, I think, 5 skill points with him. I rebought the ship to do some ranked play to get myself up to the tier 7 games, and then it was Sims all the way. But I hope you enjoyed this game. I had a lot of fun of playing it, and as always, I'll have another video for you guys tomorrow.